Right. Let's try this again. So I tried to have some background noise, but apparently my computer can't handle it. So you just get left with my lovely voice. So we've actually got a few things for this broadcast, this live, to go over. As you saw with like the title and the description of this live event, um, we're gonna list some MTG singles, and we're going to um, then we're going to list a riftbound deck and some One Piece decks. So I'm going to go over some of those. I'm going to start with the One Piece stuff first. All right. So what we have here, and I already like took the pictures and everything and de-sleeved it and whatnot. So these are just a few cards that we're including with these. We're going to list all of this as one listing on our eBay store. So we're going to include these single cards. We got Nami, Film, Straw Hat Crew. I think that was the top card as far as like value wise. This is like the most expensive card in all of this. I'm not sure if there's anything in the sealed decks down here, but as far as like the deck itself, this is it. But we're gonna be listing this for what did he say? Like $44, I think. So you're getting absolutely wonderful value. So these 5 singles, we've got Stussy Egghead, Rob Lucci, Egghead CPO, Frankie, Egghead Straw Hat Crew, and Usopp, Egghead Straw Hat Crew. So those are the individual singles that are getting included with this. And then we have the deck. And this was just kind of a beginner's deck that John helped Jason put together. John's a buddy of ours. We've known him for several years now. And we always played Magic with them. He's been playing One Piece, and so Jason was interested in putting a deck together so that he could sit down and play some games with them. But that hasn't really happened, so we're kind of doing a go big or go home thing right now where we're selling as much of our value stuff as we possibly can. So he decided to go ahead and put this up for sale too. So this is basically, I don't know that much about One Piece myself. I've never played. I don't know how they built the deck. I don't know anything about the cards really, other than I put this in TCG Player just to get a value for it. And the deck here, plus those 5 cards, came out to like $31 or $33, I think it was. So there's some foils in here, non-foils. I don't really know all that much, like I said about this. So some super rares, rares. Know enough about card games to know kind of what I'm looking at or looking for. All right, so there's that. And I did take pictures, so you can view all the pictures of this deck once I get it listed on eBay here shortly. So there's that. And it does come in this One Piece deck box, just a plastic deck box. Velcro's still good on it. Nice and clean. So we'll put those in there. Put the singles in front. And then when I go to ship it, I'll probably put this pack in there. Or one of these decks in there so that the cards don't like bounce around loose or whatever inside the box. If I didn't have something like this and we were just sending this, if we were just selling this stuff, I would take some bubble wrap and kind of put it in there as a spacer. That's that. And then these two, he was told that if you got two of these and like you could make a really strong deck out of both of these. Like, but he didn't open the shrink wrap on these yet. I believe they came in a box with like a pack or something. And those singles that we've got there, I think, are the singles that he pulled from the packs. So there's that. And so on TCG Player, these are going for like individually. This without the pack, still wrapped in the shrink wrap, is going for about $10 plus shipping, or shipping included, depending on the seller. So we're just gonna go ahead and value these at $20. So that would make it like $51 to $53 total, and we're just gonna post it up for $44 because we just want to sell it to somebody who is going to appreciate it and be able to use it. So that's the One Piece stuff. And then we've got Draven, Glorious Executioner. When we go to list this, I will actually go over it a little bit more. That's the riftbound deck that we're gonna post. So far, almost all of the decks that Jason's put together have sold on our eBay store. And I'm going to go over what we have left listed on eBay here in a moment. Ezreal's the only deck that hasn't sold yet. All the other 3 decks and 1 package for Riftbound that we put together, the Leona Stun package, those all sold. But we do have a little bit of good stuff left from Riftbound. So here we've got 40 MTG singles that we're going to be listing. And I'll go over them like as we're listing them and stuff. But lots of foils, a few new cards. Just some really good cards too. There's Arcane Denial, the CMA list card, Hugs, Grizzly Guardian, Showcase, foil. There's a new one, Crop Rotation. It's from this one's from the Secret Lair. We include the token with it. Just some good stuff that we've kind of kept around. I was kind of hoarding the Dracoseth Maw of Flames in my Dragon Binder. So that has made its way to our eBay store, or will be shortly. So that's just some of those. Just a brief overview on what we're doing. So we're going to list the One Piece deck first, or decks I should say. So I'll go ahead and put those back here. While we do the listing. Now I was going to try to have like drafts made up so that I could just quickly list them while on live stream so that y'all aren't having to sit through me going, through all the selections and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so I'm going to actually switch scenes here. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. I want this one. Transition. There we go. Alright, so here you're going to see our eBay store. This is what you would see if you're visiting the Mobius Strip Gaming LLC on eBay. This is the website for it, www.ebay.com/str/the Mobius Strip Gaming LLC. We haven't had any recent feedback from the customers we've sold to in the last month. So if you've purchased anything from us and you happen to see this video, if you haven't left a feedback, we do appreciate all feedback we receive from our customers. As you can see, we have 100% positive feedback. Let's see. So some of the stuff we have listed. We'll go highest to lowest. Alright, so in here we've got the Japanese cards, our value Japanese cards that we pulled out of the Secrets of Strixhaven collector's box. So we've got Jessica's Will, Winds of Abandon, Shamanic Revelation, and this is in the Silver Scrolls foil. And then we've got Veil of Summer. And then we did go through and we found these two and added them to this. We've got Culling Ritual and Shatter. Only a few dollars, so we just kind of added those in. And then technically the Jessica's Will went up because they got bought out on TCG Player. All the low ones got bought out. So they went from, they started out kind of high. They went down I think as low as like $80. All those got sold out, and then Jessica's Will's just being listed for $150, and they're selling. So we went ahead and increased the price a little bit, but considering what's in here, so you've got Jessica's Will for $150, and then let's see, I've got I had the Winds of Abandon at $29. So right there, you're basically buying the top two cards and you're getting like, almost $50 and off of what these cards actually cost. So this is a really good value. I'm not sure how long we'll let it sit that way. So you definitely want to take advantage of this deal. If you don't mind Japanese cards, and the one is foiled, the rest of them are all non-foil. But if you can play with the Japanese cards in your decks, or even with proxies and have these in your binders, just to say you have a legit card, I would take advantage of this deal. I really don't think you're going to get all these cards for this excellent price of $175 plus shipping anywhere else. You're definitely not going to get them individually. So take advantage. We'll probably at least leave it up for a little bit longer. But like I said, I don't know how long. And then if we go back, see. And then we've got, for $100, we've got Secrets of Strixhaven blue foil lot. So it's got like the Emeritus of Ideation. Um, I guess we have to add a window in here. I don't know what it's. Hmm. Hang on. Alright, let's see if this works. Okay, that's working. So, sorry about that. I didn't realize it wasn't capturing the window. But this is the blue foil lot. You can see the Japanese one on our store that I just talked about. This one has all foils. All of these cards are foil. Emeritus of Ideation, Archmage Emeritus, Pognify with the token, the Frog Lizard, and the stock up. Great value there. Alright. Awesome. So that's gonna stay there. Then here's the remaining deck that hasn't sold yet. Now we've got like 6 watchers on this, I believe. Last time I looked. And it's Ezreal, Prodigal Explorer deck, riftbound. Um, and when he builds these decks, he goes off of like tournament, like top tournament result, like deck lists. Sometimes we have to tweak them a little bit if we don't have the exact cards. Um, but they're always like playable. They're not necessarily always competition level, but they are definitely decks that you can just sit down and play. Um, Casually, if nothing else. You could also upgrade them a little bit and tweak them a little bit with cards you already have to make them a little bit more competitive, but definitely got some good cards in this one. Um, I know Stacked Deck is in here. It's got 2 of his signature spells. This actually had the top, 2 of our top champion units. One's the Ezreal Prodigy, I think, and then, yeah, well, they're both Prodigy, but one's the regular and one is the alt art. So definitely those, and it's got dashing and an alt art of him. Got Vex. Is so. We are going to drop this price down today because the deck price list has gone down by about $8 or $9. So I think we're gonna just take $10 off of it. All right, and then we've got the blue-red lot from Secrets of Strixhaven. That's got some really good cards in it, including the non-foil of the Emeritus of Ideation extended art. We've got the black-white lot here for 42. And we've got, this is one that I posted just the other day. And it's just some non-basic lands from Magic the Gathering. Like nothing specific. They're not grouped for any reason. They're just non-basic lands that we had of value that we went ahead and put up as like a bundle deal. So, Secret Tunnel can go in any deck, so can City of Brass. You've got green, red, black, green, green, red, blue, black. So, nice value there. That we pulled. Right. There's those. 25 bucks. I think it's got 1 or 2 watchers on it. You definitely want to take advantage of any of these if you see something you want, because we have had people just kind of buy them at random when there's been watchers on them. I don't know if it's watchers that are buying them or if somebody else is coming in and swooping them up. Then here we've got a mini pack. It's just 4 cards. It's both Jinxes, promo Chaos Rune, and Mind Splitter. So that's a good value package. And then we put up a few other packages. I was waiting to do the singles on live stream, but we put up 2 Soul Wardens and 2 Suture Priests. We've got a play set of Quirion Ranger, an Elf 4-pack, which includes Quirion Ranger. We had 5 of them, so Devoted Druid, Elvish Mystic, and Llanowar Elves. The promo, the Family Night Magic promo. Foiled. And these have been taken really good care of. So they're near mint condition. Basically in sleeves from the moment we got them until I took pictures of them, basically. These two, they're just kind of thrown together because they're cheaper cards. But we figured we'd make a $3 pack to make it worth your while for the shipping. Galvanic Blast from Scars of Mirrodin and Retroframe Cursed Mirror from Brothers War Commander. And then here we've got 4 Cloud Shifts. And then this one, Jason thought, well, why not? We've got Emergent Ultimatum from Special Guest, Cruel Ultimatum Showcase from Thunder Junction, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and Ruinous Ultimatum from Final Fantasy. So he decided we would go ahead and just put these up for sale as a package and call it the Ultimatum 3-pack. The foil is the Emergent Ultimatum. The other two are non-foil. And that's what we have up on our eBay at the moment. So we're going to add to that now. All right. Gotta try and figure out some ways to make things a little bit more lively around here. So y'all are gonna have to tell me what it is that you might want me to do. Things you'd like to see me stream. We don't have any one that has ordered our organizing services yet, but we are setting up for that. We've gotten some penny sleeves, and inner sleeves. We got dividers and spacers. We got most everything we need for the Cricut and the heat press to start making some t-shirts. I just need to get some transfer tape and then we'll start putting some of that up. So we'll basically see what all we can do with that. Our goal is we want to be able to customize binders with vinyl heat transfer. And then do some t-shirts. Maybe we'll get some baseball caps. We're going to get transfer stickers to like print on for certain things. So that we can put like stickers in mystery boxes that you can decorate your binders with, or boxes, storage boxes, whatever. And then let's see. Oh, eventually we'll get some play mats, some like blank play mats and DTF transfers, and we will customize play mats. And then we have our eye on like some they're reusable plastic waterproof playmat sleeves, and on that we will put our business name. So we're gonna have our business name printed out on some stickers, and then that way, or sticker transfers, and that way we can actually put those on the playmat sleeves. So you'll get a Mobius Strip Gaming LLC playmat sleeve, and then the sleeve itself will be custom DTF heat transfer. So your favorite character in whichever game it is that you play, things like that. I don't have any examples because the only way that we can do this properly is if we use the images for individual purposes. So I can't say we can do something specific. You just got to contact us and, ask us if we can do something that you have in mind, and we'd be able to let you know whether we can get that ordered so that we can make that up for you. So that's the idea with that. And I'm just sitting here talking instead of doing. It's hard to talk and do things at the same time. Not gonna Alright, so we've got one piece, three decks, bundle. I think I'm gonna go with mixed card lots because I can't, because one deck's not sealed, so I can't go with the sealed decks and kits. So I'm just gonna have to go with this. One piece, English, and continue. Again, both used and new. Oh, I guess I'll just go used. Let's redo the pictures. That should have it. Go ahead and transition that over. So here I've got the 5 cards that I was talking about earlier that are singles, that are extras, and then I've got the deck, the 2 sealed or shrink wrap sealed deck, and the deck box. And then I include the price of the list, which includes the 5 singles plus the player built deck that's open. Both foil and non-foil. One, just say condition excellent. All right, we got 1 player built deck with deck box. 2 sealed decks. And then in parentheses, I'll put no packs, just shrink wrapped. and includes one-piece deck box. All right. And then we were gonna do $43.99. Now this, I think has to go in this. Let me. Okay, yep. All right, so this is gonna go in the flat rate padded envelope that the post office provides. And we need a weight on it. So we get our beautiful scale out. And we've got 1 pound, 0.6 ounces. So call it 1 pound, 1 ounce. £1, 1 ounce. Dimensions. Girth. Oh, I forget the dimensions of that. I think it's like 12 and a half. I gotta look this up real quick. There's so much to remember sometimes. USB. Out of envelope. Dimensions. 12 and a half by 9 and a half, and probably talking a measure on that. Knocking stuff over. The width would be, I'm gonna say 3 inches. It's more like 2.5. It's 1 3/4. I'll go with 3. It's flat rate anyway, it really doesn't matter the exact dimensions. So 12.5 by 9.5, 9.5 by 3. And we list it. So that is listed. Okay. Let's see. So we can put this up. Since I have the scale out, I'm going to go ahead and see how much this deck weighs. 5.7. Let's see. 5.7 plus 6.1 plus what's that? Sheet of paper. Be maybe about that. Plus a little bubble wrap, so 6.5. See if it lets me put that in. I go to list this. I'll just write that down. $6.5. Okay. Now we can work on riftbound deck. So as you can see, we've got Draven, Glorious Executioner, we've got one Draven Showboat, 3 Tide Turners, 2 Sivir Mercenary, 2 Vex, 2 Brynhir Thundersong, 3 Ferris Forerunner, 1 Mind Splitter, we only had one of the signature spells, so if you purchase this deck or want to purchase it, we included the signature spell, the Spinning Axe, and then we put in 2 long swords as kind of like placeholders for the other 2 signature spells. The deck that list that he went off of did not have longsword in it. These are literally just placeholders. I mean, their equipment, they have quick draw just like Spinning Axe does, but Spinning Axe is +3. And also has like a condition to it. It's temporary, so if it's unattached, you kill it at the start of its controller's beginning phase before scoring. So that's, I mean, to me, that's kind of a downside. Whereas Longsword also has quick draw. Equip costs 1 Fury power, and it's just +2 instead of +3. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to run with the longswords or if you wanted to put the spinning axes in. Then we've got 2 falling stars, 3 stacked deck, we've got overzealous fan. Now, some of these, I think overzealous fan may have been in there. I know Pouty Poro was, but some of these, like the Treasure Hunter, were not in the deck that won, or the best of whatever top decks in the championship, but we didn't have all of the cards for the deck, so we kind of put in what we thought would work best with the deck. So it depends on what you're getting this deck for. If you're wanting it to be competitive, you're probably going to want to switch some stuff out for some more competitive cards. If you're just wanting to sit down and play with friends, this deck, you should be able to just slave it up and sit down and play with it. It does include 40, no, we did 50 cards. So you have enough cards to make your 40 card main deck and your sideboard with 2 extra cards left over. So it's definitely got some potential and the ability to kind of move around a little bit with those cards. Now, if you've never bought anything, this might be a great deck to start with because you can kind of learn like how to build the deck and then have some extra cards to kind of like if it doesn't work the way you thought it would, you can kind of switch some out and just play with, you know, the synergies a little bit to see what's going to work better for your playstyle. Noxus Hopeful, I believe, was on the deck list. One Beast Below was on the deck list. 2 Cleave. 3 Hard Bargain. And then, so the Treasure Hunter and the Bushwhack we put in place of other things that we didn't have, but we were thinking that this deck is kind of power hungry, and you'll see more as I go into the spells. There's a lot of power required for a lot of this, and so getting those gold tokens with Treasure Hunter and then with Bushwhack are pretty good. Plus, this lets your friendly units enter ready the turn you play this. And it's hidden. So it can be good. Now, there was, I'll go over that in a second, I guess. 1 Ride the Wind was all it had, and it was in the sideboard on the deck list. 2 Rebuke, and a Thermal Beam. In case you go up against a gear deck, it was in the sideboard. And then we've got 6 Fury runes and 6 Chaos runes. We do this with all our decks. We do 6 and 6 because it'll at least get you started. You're going to probably want to play with the numbers on these a little bit. There is a site that you can actually go to, and I'll bring that up here in a second. But it's called piltoverarchive.com/deck builder, and it's awesome. Like, you can just literally put in this deck in the deck builder, and it has a auto calculate for the runes, and it'll tell you how many of each color you need based on the cards that you put in your main deck and your sideboard. And I love using this site for things. So, and then we've got the battlefields that we're including. We always include 3 battlefields with any deck we post. So we've got the Zon Warrens. When you conquer here, discard 1, then draw 1. Targon's Peak. When you conquer here, ready 2 runes at the end of this turn. And Aspirant's Climb. Increase the points needed to win the game by 1. I guess those were the ones he thought were... I think they were the ones that were in the deck list, the one that he was going off of. And then we included 1 gold token You only have the two cards in the deck, the Treasure Hunter and the Bushwhack. So you have 6 cards total, technically, but just those two um, create gold tokens. So I don't think you would need any more than one. You might need a dice counter if you don't spend them or whatnot, or if you're doing it multiple times on a turn. And then 3 mech tokens uh, for the Ferris Forerunner that's in there. So that's the overview of the deck. I will say that I decided to put Vex in. Now, Vex was in the sideboard on the deck list Jason went off of, but I would recommend running it in the main deck. It's just my opinion. But because the deck is so power hungry, if you can cast your spells for less power and utilize Vex the way it's meant to be utilized, I think you'll benefit most from that. So, and the important thing is too for this is that it takes away the power and it reduces the energy, but it also increases your opponents. So I love Vex. Vex is awesome. So there's that. Sivir, if you've spent at least 2 power this turn, plus 2 in ganking, and has Accelerate, I just thought she would be good to throw in place of other cards that we didn't have, just because, she can come in ready if you pay the extra. And if not, if you spend at least that much power, which you should with this deck, with your creatures at the very least, if not your spells too, and then it kind of gives her a boost and the ability to move between battlefields. So that's kind of the thoughts behind the building of this deck. So for Draven, we're going to, I gotta look at my pictures here. Alright, so Draven, we have 66 cards, not include, well, it's 66 plus 4, so it's actually 70 cards, because I didn't put the tokens on there. 70 cards for $69.47 is what the market price came to. I think we'll go ahead and list that for $64.99. So, and with these decks, when I wrap the deck like this, basically, so the foils or sleeve cards are on top, the tokens are at the back. Make sure it's as aligned as I can. I wrap this with bubble wrap and tape it. I don't tape it to the cards. I fully wrap it with the bubble wrap, and the tape is just on the bubble wrap. And then I place it in one of our bubble mailers. And it's a tight fit. Don't get me wrong, it is a tight fit. But I'd rather put it in this and have it be a little bit of a tight fit and not have the deck be able to bounce around inside the envelope and possibly come loose. I don't think it would, but the less movement it gets, the better. And these have really good bubbles inside, nice firm bubbles, and then the bubble wrap that we have is just added protection. So we shouldn't have any issues with anyone receiving damaged cards. If it becomes known to us that it is an issue packaging it that way, we'll have to reevaluate. But part of the reason that we don't send it in a deck box, like these from GameGenX, or some smaller ones or whatever, is because if we did that, these would not fit inside of our bubble mailers. And we do have a bigger one, but it still doesn't fit inside because of the odd shape and bulk of the box. So we would have to send it in a flat rate padded envelope, which is essentially a bubble mailer, but a big one. But it also costs more than what this does. So we're really trying to get the price of these as low as possible for our customers. So you don't have to pay for the extra. Like we used to sell Magic decks with sleeves on them, at outer sleeves, and in deck boxes. And we would send them in the padded envelopes. And it was, sometimes a greater cost because for our customers because of it. Because we got to spend the money to get all those materials together, and then the time it takes to sleeve the deck, because I sent them sleeved. So we're just really trying to keep these budget friendly. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to put in riftbound. Draven. Glorious Executioner. Actually, I think I did it the other way around. Okay. So, Draven, Glorious Executioner deck, riftbound. And I gotta go down here. Select toys and hobbies, collectible card games, and player build decks. Used. So for anybody that's not very familiar with shopping on eBay for collectible card games and stuff like that, the reason that I would select used instead of new, even though most of these cards, actually like all of them, never saw play in a deck. So we opened the boxes, we sleeved the foils immediately on all of them. We put them in binders or boxes. Like, they never saw actual play in a deck. They've had very minimal handling. They could be considered almost new, but with collectible card games, the thing is that as soon as it's outside of that pack, it's considered used. If it's no longer sealed, it's considered used. There's debate among players. You may hear some players say that if a card is not in a sealed pack, it's automatically lightly played condition. And a lot of the reason for that is because people kind of put them here or there. They don't put them, in sleeves, so the foils might get kind of scratched or scuffed up. And that's definitely things that we consider as sellers, as a business, selling singles and making player built decks and stuff, is we look at the card condition. If it's been in a sleeve ever since we opened it, I can pretty much guarantee you that as long as I see no physical damage to the sleeve that it is in, and nothing on the top, because this is a fitted sleeve, and there's no like dings or anything like that, I can pretty much guarantee you there's no scratches on this card. However, I cannot say that it is like a grade 10 if I was to send it to get graded, or 9.5 or whatever. I wouldn't be able to guarantee it as far as grading standards, but I can say that you really shouldn't see anything with the naked eye. But it's really important for sellers to actually go by the standard guidelines for conditioning their cards, because I'll show you an example. And I was going to go over this a little bit later. I'll give you a brief glimpse, but this magic card right here, it is an older card. You know, it's from Ice Age, and so it has been around for 21 years since it was printed and open. It's probably seen multiple owners. I'm not sure if this was one that Jason had himself that he opened from Ice Age packs, or if this was one that we got in a collection, but the possibility that it's had multiple owners is there. Now, some sellers may not want to sell something like this because you can obviously tell on the edging and stuff that there's wear and tear on it, but this I would just put as a moderately played card. The reason being is that it does have that edge wear where you can tell it's been handled, or it's been in a box, or been shuffled around a little bit, and so it is not in perfect condition or lightly played, and it's been around the block. So I am okay with selling it as moderately played, and it obviously is going to sell for less than if I was to try and do lightly played or near mint. But I wouldn't try to even pass this off as lightly played, because it's not. If you can see anything like this in the edging where you can see any color other than what the border is supposed to be, it is not lightly played. That is moderately played. And if you were to take the sleeve off and look at it closer, you're probably going to see surface marks from being sleeved and de-sleeved. And you're going to see it on the back too. Sometimes you even see scratches. But this card is still sleeve playable. And by that I mean that it may not be the prettiest card in the bunch, but you can put it in a sleeve, you can read everything on the card, and there's not going to be any issue with playing this in a competitive deck, if you were to put it in a competitive deck. Now, where I would draw the line on trying to sell things is like heavily played or damaged cards, with exceptions, because there's always going to be those high dollar cards that you might come across that are like definitely damaged or definitely heavily played, and they're not sleeve playable. Those cards might still be worth a little bit of money, but they're basically, like, if somebody's interested in buying it, they're buying it for probably nostalgia, not as a collector and not as a player. to actually play in a deck. But otherwise, like if we come across heavily played or damaged cards, we're literally gonna just put them all in a binder, and we'll have like just basically give them away for free when we get a store. I probably wouldn't ever list a heavily played or damaged card on our eBay store or really ask for money for it unless it's like, I don't know, Gay's Cradle or something. Or Black Lotus. But I guess I kind of went off on a little rant there. I apologize. Alright, let's get this going. Alright, so we got... Alright, so I'm going to switch over here so you can kind of see what I'm doing so it's not so boring to watch. Excuse me. One thing that's kind of difficult for um, e-commerce with these kinds of things is that, you know, we're taking the time to put these together and get them just right and stuff, and we're doing all this stuff that you've seen me do, um, listing them. I'm going to edit my store category to decks. Done. But we go through all this, and then, like, yeah, we're using their platform and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, what customers don't realize is that in order for us to give, like, excellent deals and stuff like that, like, we're actually losing money doing this. If we had an actual store and we didn't have to go through, I guess I'll call them a middleman, which is what eBay really is, um, we wouldn't have to pay somebody else to have it up for sale or whatever. Like we would just have it in a case or something at our physical store. And if the customer bought it from us, then all the money goes to us or the store. Whereas on eBay, you know, in order to even be able to do coupons and discounts and stuff like that, we pay a monthly subscription. And this kind of goes in for like, if you're interested in doing something similar and doing an e-commerce store of any kind through someone like eBay, TCG Player, Amazon, any of those, as a seller, you're going to pay a percentage of your sales. And they do include the price of shipping. Taxes, they don't count for that percentage because the taxes that the customer buy or pays for, eBay or Amazon or whoever you're going through is going to pay those directly to where they need to go. We don't receive that money as a business. eBay and Amazon and all them are handling that part. So the percentage that they charge is actually on the price of the item and shipping costs. So like if something's like $25, and even if the customer's the one paying for the shipping, so let's say the shipping was $5 for that $25 item, so that's $30. The business, such as the Mobius Strip Gaming, pays a percentage of that $30 to eBay for being able to have our store on eBay or sell items on eBay. And it varies depending on, you actually have to look it up. So if you're interested in becoming a seller, you're going to have to look up that percentage of whatever it is that you're selling. They go by categories. For this kind of thing, I think it's like 12 or 12.5%. Maybe it's 13 now. I can't remember how long it's been since I actually looked it up for what we do. But so we're paying a monthly subscription so that we can have a storefront, which is what I showed at the beginning. I was able to kind of customize it and put up some pictures and stuff like that. And put like a little excerpt saying, like about us, like who we are and all that. And that's so that our customers can go in and exclusively shop our store through eBay. So it's kind of like having a website. We've got virgins. And then we pay that the selling fee too. So technically, if we're giving our customers a deal, which means less than market price, because we list everything, we go by market price. And if we're going like a couple bucks under that, $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever it is that we're going under that market price, we're actually in the end losing, like we're not getting what you're paying, not 100% of it. Be awesome, but that's just not the way it works. But then if we don't do less than market price, we try and recoup some of that money, we're actually not giving customers the best deal, and so they're not likely to buy. So then everything just sits there. So try to find a middle ground, which is why currently we have it where the customer pays for shipping. Because if we just added free shipping to that on top of everything else, then we're just really not setting ourselves up for success. So standard card size 66. No, it was 70 cards. I've been skipping that one. English, French, Dutch. 14 plus is age level recommendations from Riot Games. And we've got foil and we've got regular. The cards are all in excellent condition. Cardstock. Not autographed. Not vintage. One really awesome thing that we've been able to do recently is we bought a printer, so we can actually send invoices with our eBay orders now. When we were selling on TCG Player, we were able to do the invoices, but only if we went to the library. Um, and then we were just sending them without invoices. Um, when we weren't able to get to the library, and it was just kind of like a mess. So now we actually have uh, enter. We can print out invoices. So we're making some progress with the business, putting a lot of time, energy, and personal money really into trying to get everything up and going so that the business can be self-sufficient. If you're a small business owner or have ever attempted a small business, you know what I mean. All right, so what should we say about Draven? Um, this deck is a player-built deck. Yeah. What do we think? Player-built deck. Based on a competitive I'm not gonna say based on competitive deck. What did we say we were listening for? $64.99. I'd say that's pretty budget friendly considering. No. Undo. Oh. Uh, let's actually just cut that out. Period. Includes 70. Alright. 50 cards to make main deck and sideboard with a few to spare. Runes. Battlefields. And tokens. Alright. Then we're just going to do 64. Calculated. And it was 6.5. But it doesn't let me do 6.5, so I'm just going to put 7. And then we've got 7, 5, and endless. Alright. So we've got that listed. Ooh, one thing that's really cool, I'll show you guys something. We actually went through all of our art cards that we have for Magic the Gathering. And we found a whole bunch. Look at that. All of that. Those are all the signed gold stamp, signature, and Planeswalker stamp cards that we have collected over the years. Between Jason, like before he met me, plus basically anything that we've gotten since. I mean, when MH2 dropped, we bought so much MH2. It was not even, like, it was crazy. Um, there. Over there. Um, so I actually went through all of these. I don't even know how many there are exactly, but like I went through all of these and looked them up. They should be in order of set right now. Like this is from Takir. Um, I went through all of these to see what ones had value and what ones didn't have value. Woodsboro. I love collecting these. It's so much fun. But this whole stack it was all under $1. Um, Actually, I think under like 97 cents was the lowest that I actually allowed in the value cards. So, um, we've got this one, which is from Adventures of Forgotten Realm. It's just the Planeswalker gold stamp, and it is Goblin. I loved these. They're so unique. The backs of the cards where they did like a stat thing. It was kind of cool. Because they did it more like Dungeons and Dragons. D&D. And there's Purple Worm. That one's worth a little bit. That one's from the original Strixhaven. School of Mages. Harness Infinity. That one's worth a little bit. These two are from Spider-Man. They're actually worth like $8-9. Well, this one is. This one, we didn't realize until after we were looking them up that the corner here is kind of damaged a little bit. Near mint, it would be like a $9 card. But with that, I'm not sure how much. I didn't look it up. It just looks like it, I don't know, something made it kind of split on the corner there. So probably just keep that for our own, well, keeping all of these for our own collection. World Tree. And this was Kaldheim. I actually wasn't like around for Kaldheim yet. It was before Jason and I met, so. And then we got Prismatic Bridge from Kaldheim. Wakebringer from Kaldheim. Sudden Insight from D&D, Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. Then we've got a Plains from Lord of the Rings. That is so gorgeous. But some of these range like, there were some that were like $3 and $4, some that were over $2, and then the last one's down here like over 97 cents. Wizard Rocket, or no, this is Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. This is from Final Fantasy. And it's Summon Esper Rama. Esper Rama. This is from Strixhaven, School of Mages, Awaken the Blood Avatar. This, I think, is another Plains. Yep, from Zendikar. Zendikar Rising. And then Port of Carfell from Callahan. Galadriel, Gift Giver, Lord of the Rings. Uh, Frodo Baggins, number 47 of 81. I think there was another, yeah, there's another one too. A couple more by Mayer. Arch Enemy's Charm with the Planeswalker stamp. This one, Mary, Esquire of Rohan. And we've got Commander Sphere, Lord of the Rings, which is really pretty. I just really love the Lord of the Rings set, like, just period. Like, I feel like it's my favorite Universes Beyond, by far. Because even though they didn't do, like, the actors from the actual Lord of the Rings movies, they did really amazing representations of everything. Like, this was obviously Sauron's ball thing that he had, right? Commander Sphere. And that is just gorgeous artwork. So gorgeous. I'm actually jealous of Post Malone for getting the One Ring. Well, he bought it, but, like, I'm jealous of the person who pulled it. I don't know if I would have sold it, to be honest. I suppose it is cardboard at the end of the day. I suppose I probably would have. So I could get more cardboard that's shiny and fancy and has assigned value. Right? Because that's what we're in the game of, is assigned value cardboard. Alright. So that was just a little deviation from what I'm supposed to be doing. Apparently I can't stay on task for the life of me today. I'm just like, oh, shiny. Kind of like this shiny Draco set. Mauve Flames. Edge foil, by the way. Edged foil. I really hate to let this go. I really do. I absolutely love dragons. And maybe after I get my work done, or on a future video, I'll actually go through my dragon binder. Because Jason was awesome. Because he loves me so much. And he got me a dragon binder. Like, there's a picture of a dragon on it. I think it was actually, I don't know if it's a dragon from, like, the Takir set. But it came out around that time. So, I think maybe it is. Anyway. Alright. So, what I did with the singles here, I went ahead and I wrote down, like, each card. Now, there's 40 cards that I'm going to list. And I'm probably not going to list them all on stream because that would just take forever. It would really drag this live out. But what we're going to do is we're going to look up the prices on them. Maybe talk about the card. Just kind of depends. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Just kind of trying to chill. But the prices that we look up, I'm going to write down next to each one on the list. and that will be the price that I actually list them for sale on our eBay store. So if you're watching this video and you're waiting for me to post some of these singles on the eBay store, I would say I should have them all listed by tomorrow afternoon, probably by 2:30 Central Time. So if you see the video and you're interested in something and it's not showing up on our eBay store yet, and it's not 2:30 tomorrow afternoon Central Time, you can post a message, you can contact me on Facebook and see if you have like several cards you want to get, I can always put them together in like a package deal, and we can negotiate a price. I'm always up for that. All you got to do is just join our group and message me through Facebook. My profile is now public. I did that when I started trying to do my Shopify store. I was trying to just do like a t-shirt business. So my profile is public. Like anybody can message me. So you definitely want to say, hey, I'm interested in some, MTG singles that you're working on. Saw your video. And, we can work something out. But if I don't hear from anybody, I'm just going to post them all for the prices that we find here. So, yeah, my hand in the pan. And we're going to here. It's gotta load. Taking forever. Now, I don't know what's up with TCG Player website lately. It's been acting up on the browser on cell phones, and it's been acting up on the computer and stuff too. I enter something in and I click on what I want to go to, and it doesn't go to it right away. And you never know when it's going to do that. Like one time it'll do what I say and what I click on, and the next time it doesn't. It just stays where it is. I know Jason was having trouble getting his to load. I don't know. But on the computer, I was getting an error message. Oh no, something went wrong or whatever. Refresh. So whoever broke TCG Player, knock off. Not having none of that. One thing I really wish Wizards would do would be to, stop, back, would be to make a card that says trample effect. As far as I know, there's no card in existence yet for that, but there's kind of a funny story behind that. Let's see. Nope, nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Or it's just gonna freeze and not do anything. Come on, I deleted. Anyway. Not long after Jason and I started dating, we were going up to Pennsylvania to see his mom. And he had introduced me to magic, barely, just barely, literally. Explained the rules, and we played a little bit, but I still didn't know basically barely anything about Magic the Gathering. And I don't know what it was that he had, I think he had taught me like, some mechanics and stuff like trample and flying and, things like that that you teach new players. And it was really funny because I was driving and I don't know when he had like vacuumed his car out last, but it wasn't perfectly clean. We'll just say that. I mean, it was a bachelor's car, right? So, and he used to live somewhere where it was like dirt roads and stuff. So anyway, we're driving down the highway, and for whatever reason, I'm just like, oh hey look, because like I must have put my foot down and like a puff of dirt come up. No, it was on cruise control, mind you, y'all. But so I decided to stomp my feet and make it really like poof up the dirt and stuff. And I was like, hey, look, trample effect. I've always wanted them to make a card called Trample Effect ever since then. That's the little story behind that. All right, so let's get to looking up this Dracuset. Are you stretching, Yoda? Mauve Flames. And we want the edge foil from Commander Masters. Really? You're gonna make me miss when it used to just kind of, give all the options. There. All right. Now, I will say for this card, we actually got this not too long ago. I don't know how long it's been now. But essentially, sleeved it, put it in the binder. I mean, it was double sleeved. So it was in this sleeve, and it was in a Dragon Shield sleeve, and it was in my binder in the middle of all my dragons. So it had good stability and everything. And it is darn near mint condition. I mean, if you wanted to send it off to get it graded, it would probably do pretty well. There's really no imperfections on it. Like I've always loved the edge foil cards, and MH2, which was the first set release that I ever got to experience, had all those edge foils. It was so beautiful. But this card is gorgeous. So he is a very expensive dragon because he is 4 and 3 red. So red, 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 4. But he's a 7/7 flying, and whenever Drakuseth Maw of Flames attacks, deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage of up to 2 other targets. So I mean, that's a lot of damage in one shot. And the reason that we got this was because I used to have a green-red deck. Uh, which it would have been very awesome in. But I never got to actually put it in the deck or play it because we ended up dismantling that deck um, to sell cards so that we could get, along with other cards, so we could get, I don't know, probably some collector's boxes or new sets or I don't know what. But we traded it in for credit to get new sealed product. So anyway, I love the flavor text on it though. It's like, spread out, you idiots, spread out. It's awesome. Marcian, party leader, last words. All right, so this one, see on, well, that's for lightly played though. So if we actually do near mint, all right, that's better. So that's what it was coming up on TCG Player app, was about $22 change. Lowest listing for this is at $18.20, and then it's $19.99, $21, $22, $22, $22. So I'm just gonna go with the market price in this because these guys, these three people are literally, this one's undercutting that person, this one's undercutting that person, this one's undercutting that person. That's all they're doing. Which is great for people that, you know, really want to get their hands on cards, but it affects the value of our assigned value cardboard. So I'm going with 22. And like I said, we've been listing stuff a little bit under. But we're probably going to put a coupon up as soon as I get all these cards listed on eBay. So we are going with market price, then we're going to do a coupon, probably either 48 hours or 72 hours. Might do 72 hours. By the time I get it listed, that'll give you till Saturday, end of day, to buy it at a discount price. And we're probably going to do 10% off, or buy one, get one, 10% off. I'm not sure yet. Either way, great coupon coming up. And if you watch this video before I get done, you kind of get a heads up to that. So if you're looking at any of our stuff on the store, you're going to know to wait until I post that coupon. So you follow our store, follow our YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. And hey, if you do all of those things, I'll send you an extra 5% off coupon. The only way you're going to get that is if you're watching this video and you do all those 4 things. Follow us on our eBay store, like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube. And I'll make it a 10% coupon if you also go and join our Facebook group, in addition to the first 4 conditions. So 5 to-do things, and you could get a 10% off coupon, but you have to comment somewhere on YouTube, on Facebook, so that I can actually know, hey, this person's done this, and then I will create your own personal coupon for whatever it is that you've done. Just saying. So we're going $22 for this, and then we'll move on. We'll go 22 even. And move on to the next card. Alright, so next up is Crane, Utrom Warlord. I'll do a close up. That was too close? Yeah, too close. Alright, so we got Crane, Utrom Warlord. This was from the Ninja Turtle set. We didn't buy very much of this set. Jason bought the team up bundle, which is the 5 decks. It's the 4 turtles against Shredder commander decks. And then we also bought, gosh, what did we buy? Did we buy a box or just some packs? I can't remember. But Crane here is a good value card. He costs 9, colorless or any color. Legendary artifact creature, 9/9, flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. And other artifact creatures you control have flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. So he's like a Avacyn on steroids, right? Am I wrong? I mean, come on. Avacyn gives indestructible to other creatures, but flying, trample, indestructible, and haste seems pretty good to me. And it's colorless, so I mean, shoot, it can go in your angel deck. If you got an angel deck, it can go in any deck, really. Very versatile. Back of the card. When we opened that, we did sleeve it up as soon as we looked up the price on it. It was like a $20-some card, I think. Go over here and let's see where it's at now. So we got Crane. Utrom. Printing. I hate it when it does that. It's not foil. You have to like refresh the page because for whatever reason it doesn't have the option. And then now it should have it. Yep. Telling you, somebody broke TCG Player. Condition near mint. It's only ever been sleeved. Never been in a deck. Alright. So this one, the showcase price is $22. That's the store that they're showcasing for TCG Player Direct. So normal market price $17.21. Looks like this one's been undercut a lot recently. Looks like this person's trying to build themselves up a little bit. They got 113 sales, but they are Wizards Play Network, physical storefront. So maybe a new TCG store somewhere. $5 shipping though. And see, I look at this too. So like we've sold on TCG Player, and I can tell you that a seller who is charging less than, like if they're charging $1.30 or $1.39, as you see the next one is, that's basically what everybody is charging, is like $1.30. This one's charging 99 cents, which is crazy. They're probably not packaging it very well. So when we sold on TCG Player, we would put them in semi-rigid top loaders. Well, first we would put them in penny sleeves. Foils got a fitted sleeve, and we packaged them a certain way so that if there were multiple foils in an order, no foil was rubbing against another foil on its foiled side. Or rubbing against another card, I should say, on its foiled side. So it was always facing outwards of the penny sleeves. There's a maximum number of cards you can fit in a penny sleeve, a maximum number of cards slash penny sleeves that you can fit in a top loader. So if they had a lot of cards, we would use 2 top loaders, sandwich the ones that didn't fit in the top loaders in between, and tape them. And I always tuck the corners of one side of my tape. I use a masking tape. And then that way, and it always goes on like the back side or whatever. And then that way it's easy for the customer to pull the tape off. The tape doesn't leave a residue. And all the cards are protected and don't shift. And this is in plain white envelope or a bubble mailer. And you can only send so many in a plain white envelope before you have to send it as a package. At which point you might as well just send it as a bubble mailer because it's cheaper to mail. But anyway, we calculated out that aside from bubble mailers, the maximum amount that it costs us to send a card out is $1, or cards, is $1.89. That's with envelopes, penny sleeves, top loaders, the masking tape calculates into it, the stamp, the postage, and we always paid for additional postage with the white envelopes, and did non-machinable, which is an extra charge at the post office. So we did all of that to ensure that our customers received their cards without damage. They didn't have crazy wrappings and stuff that they had to try and break through like Fort Knox. And they weren't just flimsy card being sent in flimsy cardboard either. Like they had good protection. I think we only ever had one complaint about a damaged card, and that was because like the whole thing was messed up. Like I have no idea what the post office did, but they actually like sent photos and it was totally messed up. So it was not by our fault or had anything to do with the way we packaged it. It was the handling through the post office. But anyway, never had a bad review on TCG Player. Had plenty of compliments about how we, our shipping practices and how we ship things out. And I can tell you that if they're charging less than $1.90, $1.99, they're probably not putting that much effort into it. If they're just charging $1.30, that's the postage and that's it. Because that's about what it costs to send a card, non-machinable. And if they're not sending it non-machinable, the chances of you getting a damaged card are increased significantly. So, just saying that the $4.99 for one card potentially, they're just basically putting the price of the item at the lowest mark to try and get sales, but then they're charging $5 for shipping, and you don't need $5 for shipping unless you're sending it in a bubble mailer. And if that's what they're doing, awesome. If they're just basically charging you what it costs them to ship it, which is anywhere between $5 and $6, I would say, for a bubble mailer, first class shipping. And if they're doing that so that they can get, good reviews and get more sales and stuff like that, awesome, good for them. Good luck. But if you're paying $5 for shipping and you're getting your card in a white envelope with cardboard support, they didn't need $5 to send that. So that's some stuff to keep in mind. So anytime I see that, I am going to consider that this is $15 that they've listed it for. So, and we do get up to 15 here. Shipping's included. So yeah. So I'm going to put it at 15. Again, we're probably going to do a coupon. So you're not actually going to pay 15 for it on our store. It'll probably be like $13.50, I guess, with the coupon. And if you get the additional coupon, I do believe I can make it so that if you did all the things that I said, then you would get the additional, and I can make it so that they'll stack. But next card. We've got Night's Whisper. This is from the SpongeBob Secret Lair drop. This is the rainbow foil. I think we sold the rest of it, the rest of that Secret Lair already, which is why it's not in like a bundle deal. So yeah, we're just selling this one. It has been, well, it was in a sealed sleeve. I actually took it out of the sealed sleeve and put a brand new fitted sleeve on it after I took a picture of it. But that fitted, or the sealed sleeve that it was in before I took it off to take a picture, was put on it like immediately right out the package. We do that with all our Secret Lairs. We put sealed sleeves on them. And the only reason that I switched it is because we've had it for a little bit. I mean, it hasn't been too long since that one dropped, but I've had it for a little bit. Jason had it in his deck. And I just didn't want, like, there's nothing wrong with the card. There's no marks on the card. There's no marks on the foiling or anything like that. And I didn't want to re-put on, like, I guess you would call it like a dirty sleeve, right? So I didn't want to just put it back in the same sleeve that it had been in since we got it. So I put a new fitted sleeve on it for selling. It is still in near mint condition, though, because even though he had it in a deck, he didn't really get to play very often. And he's been focusing more on riftbound recently than Magic, so just really never played it much for that card. I think he did a couple of times, but he's really, it's funny because he used to be bad about his shuffling, which I found hilarious because he introduced me to Magic and told me how not to shuffle my deck. But just after he introduced me to it or whatever, like I caught him doing it. I guess they used to do it all the time, like back when he learned it, which was like right after the game came out and all that kind of stuff. But they'd shuffle it like you do a normal deck of cards with the bridge and everything. And so whenever I catch him like doing that, like very, very rarely does he ever do that. But if I ever catch him doing it, I yell at him for it. But he's played Magic for over 20 some years. and I've only been around Magic and collectible card games for 5 years this month, actually. 5 years this month. It's my 5 year anniversary for having learned Magic or been introduced to it. Alright, so we need to look up Night's Whisper. Rainbow foil. Alright, so this one, market price $7.99. Near matte foil. Yeah, about $8. We'll just go with 8. It's a little over 8 before the end of the page, but we're about halfway down. We'll just go with 8. Alright. I guess I didn't show that to y'all. Here, let me show you. It's like $7.99's market price. So it kind of like dipped down for a while and then it's kind of gone back up a little bit. So must be, I mean, it's a good card. You draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Pretty good for any like aristocrat deck or just if you need card draw. It's a good card draw. If you see, you get about halfway down and you're at like 8 and almost a quarter. Lowest listing is $7.68 with $2.25 shipping. $7.99, $2.50 shipping. Huh. Yeah, and you see like a lot of those lower ones, their shipping price is kind of up there, and that is one method that sellers can use to try and mitigate having a lower listing by charging a little bit more for shipping, and it kind of balances out in the end. Because trying to be the lowest card listed is really hard to do unless you're intentionally trying to drop the price of the card down. Or you don't care how much you get for it, you just want to sell it. So, go ahead and go back. Alright, now we got Suture Priest, which earlier you saw we had a package up with 2 Soul Wardens and 2 Suture Priests. The Suture Priest and the other one are not from the same set as this one, and therefore they're lower in cost. So that's why they were included in the bundles, or the bundle, I should say. This one, however, had a little bit of value, so we'll go ahead and look that up. Suture Priest. Transition. No. Slowly. So I don't give you whiplash like I've been doing. Okay. So as you see here, like the new Phyrexia, I think is the ones that were in that one. Or even the list. They're lower. I think they might be list cards. Let's see. I can just pull them out and look. Yoda. What you doing? Day. You're here somewhere. What are you doing, Anna? Huh? What are you doing? Hot. Condom. Uh, no, they're both Phyrexia. New Phyrexia. So, hey, stop it. I don't need you unplugging my computer, sir. You're a good boy. Lay down. Alright, so anyway, so they're a little bit lower than this one. This one's actually up there. It's the newest printing of it. I suppose that makes a difference. Alright, so market price is $6.28. Most recent sale was $3.37. So again, we've got, look at this. This is, that kind of almost makes me angry. Not gonna lie. I mean, they'd have to have almost like Fort Knox shipping kind of thing. Like, guaranteed you're getting your card, no damage, no issues, nothing, and you're getting it super fast and super fast turnaround. Like, if I'm paying $20 for shipping, that better be, like, that's my expectations. I don't know if this is a typo, and they meant to put $1.99. Dang. So we're going to completely ignore that one, because technically that means that you're paying $23 for a card. That should be $3. 3 to 4. See, that's, so we're actually going to put the condition, smart machines. I'm going to say lightly played. And the reason I'm going to say lightly played, let me switch it back over and I'll show you. Okay. So the reason I say lightly played is, I don't know if I can get the camera to pick up on it. And this is just very minor. I mean, this technically, somebody could probably get away with saying that it's near mint, but it's very, very faint. I'm not sure. There, I think you can see it there. You see that little white spot, like right there? That is enough for any customer to be like, hey, this isn't near mint. So anytime I see something like that, even though there's no surface marks from sleeving, de-sleeving, uh, no damage to the card, or anything like that, like, I'm still just going to say lightly played. Because I'd rather say that and have the customer receive a card that is in better condition than they expected than to have them receive it and say, this card is horrible, like I expected better. Because then they're not happy. If they get a better card, they're happy. So, we'll go with lightly played. $4.42 market price. I'm looking at like 4. I think I'll just do. 425, I think. Hey, baby. How's overtime going? You're like, what are you doing? I'm talking to myself. Alright, so suture priest price is done. We got sear ginger, the meal ender. It's extended art. Tell right here, it looks like it's floating on a cloud. And foil from Wilds of Eldraine. Near mint condition. So we'll did it again. Fresh. Foil. Near mint. So there, for TCG Player Direct, you can pay $12.99 and free shipping over $50. Again, I think it's the same shop too. $20. I guess maybe it's not a typo. Jeez. Well, could still be, but $20 shipping. Like, really? Come on now. Well, I don't know. $5, $5.50. I think $5.50. Alright, so the next one is McCready Lamplight Mayor. Got like kind of a like soldier sitting on a wall. It's from a Fallout set. Non-foil. Again, it's got just like a little thing like right up at the top of the card, barely visible. So I'll go lightly played on this. Normal. Alright, so this one is $5.67 market price. Most recent sale was $8. Like $4.50, $5. I think we'll just go with $5. Next is Cauldron of Essence. This is from Secrets of Strixhaven. I'm going to look it up real quick and then I'll switch over to show it. And it's extended art foil. Near mint. I hate it when it does that. Thank you. Alright. So we got 455. We'll go with $5 on this one too. Alright, so I am going to transition over and I'll show you this card. Oh, I guess I was already on it. Okay, I'll show you this one, Cauldron of Essence. Really pretty card. Nice witch's cauldron with pretty foiling. Not, I mean, usually the stamp here, right, is like a reprint, but I don't recognize. Like, did they do that like as a special symbol for this set for reprints. I don't know what it was printed in before, but typically it means it's a reprint if it's got a stamp there. Pretty card. Pretty card. Jason's on his way home, so I am going to pause the live. Well, I'm just gonna do like intermission. I'm gonna mute my mic and maybe play some music for y'all, like non-copyrighted music, so that if you're hanging out, you got something to listen to. Actually, I think I'm gonna end the stream. Um, and then I guess I will. So we're gonna have. I gotta cook dinner. We're gonna eat dinner. And then I don't know. I might go back live again tonight. I might not. But if I don't, I'll probably go ahead and list the ones that we've already looked up, and then tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off, basically, which is with Irma, part-time mutant. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, join our Facebook group, and follow our eBay store. And then let me know so that I can send you a coupon for something off, for a percent off on our store. 5 or 10% based on what all things you do. If you do all of the above, 10%. If you only do a couple things, 5%. So, thank you for your support, and I'll catch you later.